Book of Sage, Chapter 4. Starting to get a little tired, so bear with me on this one. I guess the next thing I'll talk about was the first time I met God. So, I have a younger brother and a younger sister, and I always resented having siblings. I'm not 100% sure why. It was kind of one of those, like, oh, just me kind of things. And anywho, nowadays, I absolutely love my brother and sister, and I'm so incredibly thankful to have them in my life. I honestly would not still be here if I didn't have them. They're both beautiful and just such great souls. And yeah, anywho, so my brother and I, like I've said, we grew up very poor, and my brother and I always shared a room. But anywho, so my brother and I were sharing a room, and we're living in Bozeman in this place. And put it in perspective, we went an entire winter without power, without heat. We all had to sleep in the same room with candles going to keep warm, and white privilege. But anywho, so one morning, I think I was like a sophomore in high school or something, junior or sophomore. But anywho, one morning, I'm sleeping in my bed. My brother's bed is in the room next to me on the adjacent wall. Oh, this is also, I guess I'll include this in this video, but this is also the first time I levitated. But anywho, so this particular moment, I am sleeping in my bed. I'm half awake, half asleep, and all of a sudden my soul gets pulled out of my body, and I'm floating above my sleeping body and my brother, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? And I'm floating there for a moment, not knowing what's going on, but also like not scared, it's not a situation that was unfamiliar to me, I guess is the best way to put it. And all of a sudden, my soul gets pulled, and I drift through the roof. And that was a weird feeling. Give kind of like the heebie-jeebies, drifting through the roof. And I continue to go up. And I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool, kind of bird's eye view of the city. And I continue to go up. Start going into outer space. And I start passing the moon. And I'm looking at the moon going, damn, this is cool as fuck. And I continue up. I pass Jupiter, and I'm like, damn, that's fucking cool. And I keep going. I see like Neptune in the distance, and I keep going. And I start to go into states of hibernation. as I'm drifting through space. And this happens like 5 or 6 times. And when I come to, I'm in a different solar system, different galaxy kind of deal. And I see like, I remember one in particular where I was close to a Earth-like planet that was like Jupiter size, and I was like, wow, that's super beautiful. That's super fun, cool. And keep going and hibernate and come to, and there's like stars in the distance, galaxies, solar systems. Hibernate, come to, yada yada yada. But eventually I come to, and all light, all stars, all solar systems are drastically behind me. And I'm like, oh, okay. And before me is the edge of the universe. And the edge of the universe looks like a sea, an ocean. It has waves, but it's, to me, where it was vertical. So imagine looking at the ocean, but instead it's vertical. And it's completely black, made of pure energy, just flowing. And I'm heading straight for it. And this is the first moment where I feel a little bit of panic, a little bit of fear, because I'm wondering, what the fuck is going to happen when I hit this? And so, and segue, FYI, Toth speaks of this in the tablets. But anywho, so I passed through it. And it's almost like hitting water, but at the same time not. And like it washes over me, and I pass through it onto the other side. And it's nothing but yellow. There's no time, there's no distance, there's no objects, there's no frame of reference. It's just yellow. And standing before me is two beings. And the best way I can describe them is Alpha and Omega. Divine feminine, divine masculine. As far as I can look up, and as far as I can look down, I can only see about shoulder height to about hip height. They're massive, just insanely massive. And they're wearing classic Greco-Roman robes. And I'm floating there in front of these two beings. And I'm allowed to remain clothed. Because like consciousness is a funny thing. So like when my soul left my body, my consciousness was still like, oh, I'm wearing a shirt. Oh, I'm wearing my boxers kind of deal. But the significance of being clothed in front of them is very important. Because normally the average person would go before them naked. But I was allowed to keep my clothes. And I'm floating in front of them, looking up at them, and I get this overwhelming feeling that they simply missed me. That was it. That was all. They just missed me, and they wanted to see me. And They want they wanted to like they wanted to hold me and show me their love, and I just floated in front of them for a moment. Next thing I know, I woke up in my bed.